Hello, wish you all a very happy and prosperous new year. Now, we were discussing about how to structure multi-page dash apps in different way, right? In last video, we have seen how to structure a multi-page dash apps using the page label just by keeping the page label details together, right? The page layouts and the callbacks we are keeping in a same Python file over there, right? Now in that video I also talked about like there is another way, like you can keep all the layouts in a single file, all the callbacks in a single file. Okay, that also you can do it in that way. Also you can structure your app. So in this particular video we will see that one. So we will again start with same app.py when what we have initially. Okay, and as I mentioned in the previous video, so there is a reason we created that index.py and app.py. Now if you have not seen the previous video, probably I will give a link over here, so you can watch it over here. Either you will find the link somewhere over here. Okay, in that video we discussed why we needed that app.py and the index.py over there. So in this particular approach also, where we are keeping all the layouts together and all the callbacks together, we will try to follow the similar approach for the index.py and the app.py. So here also we will be creating both of these files, and index.py will have the callback as well to just for the routing purpose, right? So basically based on the URL it will show that corresponding page layout. So that particular callback details still will need to keep it in the index.py only. So let us try to work on this one. So what we'll do is first we will create couple of files over here in our polling app, right? So the first file we will create is the index.py, as I said. Now the second two files we will create is one is the callback.py, another is the layout.py. So let's create that callbacks.py here and the layout.py over here. So polling app, new file, layouts.py here. Okay, so this will be our initial skeleton structure in this particular approach. So we have our callbacks separately, we have our layout separately over here. So we will start with app.py. Now let us keep our layout first. So we have our home.layout, right? So this is our home page layout, this is our polls layout, and this is our polls result layout, right? So this three layout I will directly copy and I will paste it over here. Now it is complaining about HTML and DCC, so let us take those things, take those imports over here as well. So I'll just comment out this guy for now, save it, and HTML and DCC over here, right? So I'll just copy these two guys over here. So now this files is fine. Now let's work on, now there is a validation layout, so which it will go, this will go to index.py just like we did in our previous video. Now this callback is actually showing the corresponding layouts based on the URL, right? And as I said, this will also be part of the index.py only, because this is actually making the routing possible over here, right? Now there is a callback here where we are basically selecting the poll names from the poll drop down, and it is basically showing up a poll question there, right? So that this is a good candidate for the callbacks.py. So let us copy this one, copy, I'll just keep it over here. Okay, there are a lot of things are needed like output, input, this HTML, DBC. So let us do that one, let us copy that one as well. But before that I will just comment this guy as well, so that we know what code we have moved it over there. So we need to have these things here in the callbacks.py. So most of the things are done. DBC, this is also required, so I'll just copy this guy over here as well, the DBC. bootstrap component. So only thing is needed is the app.py, right, which we will fix it later, just like we did in the previous video. There is another two things are needed called pandas and os here. So if we just copy this one here, this should fix this particular two stuff over here. Okay, so only now one issue is there, the app over here, which we will fix it later. And if you remember in the previous video, we actually for to access this particular polls.csv, we actually went one level up, then access this one, right, access this datasets directory, because there we created a separate folder called apps, and inside that apps folder we were keeping all the page level details over there, right? But this is a more flat structure if you see it here, and the callbacks.py is actually in the same directory of the datasets over here. So that's why we this particular code still work over here. Okay, so we do not need to go one level up and then try to access this datasets and polls.csv over here. So this is fine. Now let us try to work on the index.py. So the main thing is the index.py will be our entry point, right? So this particular code should be there. So I'll copy it. So this will be our this one, index.py. So let us comment it out. Now, as I said, in the index.py, you need to have your validation layout as well as the app.layout over here, because that will be the entry point over here. So all these things, this app.layout, just like we did in our previous video, we will be doing it. So I will just comment out this one. We will come back over here, have validation layout as well. We will do that one here. We'll keep it over here. So let us comment this guy as well over here. And as I said, this particular callback will be part of my index.py as well, right? So before the main, we need to have this one. So let us comment out this guy as well, and let us try to fix all the import related stuff issues over there. So we have commented most of the parts except the dash. So this needs to be there, the dash in app initialization over here and the app.server over here. So these two things are fine. So now the main issue is HTML, DCC, so input output as well. So let us copy this guy over here. So this will fix most of the import issues, correct? So now it is complaining about this home layout, polls layout and polls result layout, right? Now if you remember in the previous video, we have imported that 3 pages, right? The home page, polls page and polls layout page, because in those Python files we have defined those layouts. But for now, in this approach, we have our layouts.py, which have all these layouts defined over here, right? So we will do the similar stuff. So we'll say from layouts, as both are in the same directory, so we can import it very easily over here. Import. So now home layout, and then polls layout, and as well as polls results layout over here. So this will fix most of the issues over here, except the app over here, which we have not defined, but we have defined in our app.conf, sorry, app.py file over here. So I will import that one as well from app import app over here. Okay, so from this app.py, we are just importing this app over here. Now it fixes most of the issues. Let's see in the callback. It is complaining about app, so you will do similar stuff. From app, import app over here. Import app over here. So this will fix this guy as well over here. Okay, so hopefully everything is fine, but everything is not fine. We will see that when we will run our app. Okay, so but let us see, there is no, at least there is no import level issues, or there is no syntax issue over here. We will try to comment out these lines as well, because these are unnecessary in this app.py file now. Okay, so let us try to run this one and see how it's going. So because index.py will be our entry point, right? So let us run this one now. So our dash is running in this link, so let us open that. Sometimes it takes some time to load it. Okay, so if you see, it is perfectly loading my home page, and in the home page I have 3 links here, right? Home, polls, and poll results. So if I click on polls, select a poll, nothing is getting displayed over here. Okay, and there is no error over here as well. So there is 0 errors, but my app is not working here. I can go back to all the different URLs, the polls results page, everything is working fine except this polls page where I am selecting a poll, but it is supposed to display my result for that particular poll, right? But it is not displaying. So that means somewhere in my callback I am having some issue over there, right? So let us see. In the callbacks.py, I have perfectly written like what will happen when I select from the poll name drop down, and it should display the poll questions over here. There is no error as well over here. So then what could be the scenario over here? If we think properly here, we have a callback, but in the index.py, so better if I just try to see, my callbacks are in a separate file, my layouts are in a separate file, and the guy who is governing these two are my index.py, right? It is setting that particular layout, everything is happening over here. So now, but this guy does not know what my callbacks have defined or everything. It has an idea about the layouts, so that's why it is able to set these layouts over here. But in that layout, if you want to have some kind of interactivity, like if we select something from the drop down, something should happen. That idea index.py do not have it until and unless we import this guy as well over here. Okay, so we will just import callbacks. Okay, I'll save it. Let's restart the server once, and if I just run it now and refresh, let's go back to home page and refresh it once. Now if I just go to polls page and select a poll, now it will properly display the poll questions over here, because this time index.py knows there is a callback for this particular page, which should work something like this one over here. So now it should be working over here. So this is the catching point over here when you are basically following this particular layout approach, this particular structuring approach over here. You need to import both of these layouts and as well as callback into your index.py. Then only it will work properly over here. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. See you in the next video.